Shalom and good day all, this is Healing29 back again for another DC review, and in this DC review I have J. Garrick, The Flash, the last issue of the series, which is issue 6. We have Superman issue 13 and World's Finest issue 26. So I'll now get things organized for the first one that I'll be reviewing. So the first one I'll be starting with will be J. Garrick, The Flash, issue 6. And first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it an 8 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the area of having a look at the internal art around the beginning, middle and end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So, as the story begins, we have J. Garrick in contact with Mr. Terrific, and many of the of course, connecting to some of the members that are connected to the Lost Stargirl Lost Children arc. He's looking throughout the world to find out where Judy Garrick is. Plus, on top of that, he's also in communication, or we learned that he's also in communication with Joan, his wife, to save their daughter from Dr. Elemental. As we draw towards the middle of the story, we have J. Garrick encountering some sharks underneath the sea as he starts to learn where the place is where Judy Garrick is being held by Dr. Elemental, aka I think it's Professor Hughes or Dr. Hughes. And last but not least, towards the end, to which we get to see Judy Garrick by his side as he is in recovery, to which we get to see her returning sort of like back to her bed and looking at some of the friends that she has made on her journey and also on her return to the Garrick family. For the cover, I give an 8 out of 10. For the internal art, I give a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. First things first, do we get anything that addresses things time-wise? No, we don't. Next is the locations, to which we get to see in this story. We have the Atlantic Ocean, to which we learn that Dr. Elemental is sort of like, has a hidden base in there, to which we believe he can't be found by J. Garrick. We also get to see some locations of Star Labs around the world. So we have, of course, the main Star Labs in Detroit. We have London, Brazil, Greenland, and Morocco. So we get a bit of understanding as to how far Star Labs has actually expanded throughout this story and timeline. Whether some of these ones have been brought up before in previous stories, I got no idea, but I did actually enjoy that part about this particular story. Next is the cast of characters such as Jay and Judy Garrick, as well as Joan. We had Mr. Terrific, and last but not least, the character of Dr. Elemental. For the story rating of this, I give it an 8 out of 10. Now it's time to move on to Superman issue 13. So, as we start to move into Superman issue 13, does this cover in any way, shape, or form connect to something that is happening inside of the story? In some essence, it does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to have a look at the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So, as the story begins, we end up at a place called the Warriors Bar at Coast City, to which we have Superman end up eventually meeting up with the character of Lobo, to which we learn he has actually gotten a hold of a Green Lantern ring. Of course, jumping towards the middle of the story, to which we get to see both Lobo and Superman riding, of course, bikes together as they go to take on Brainiac, and also the many new Zarnians who have made their appearance in the story. And last but not least, towards the end of the story, to which we get to see Connor Kent and also Kara Zor-El trying to escape the facility to which Brainiac has them in. For the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. First things first, considering how far we are in the issues, did we get any comic references? No, we didn't. Next is the issue of time. None at all. Next is locations, to which we get to see the Warriors Bar at Coast City and also Supercorp. We didn't get to really see Metropolis and wherever else. The cast of characters consisting of Lobo, Clark Kent Superman. We also had Lois Lane, Livewire, Brainiac, Lex Luthor, Connor Kent, and Supergirl. If it's one thing that I sort of noticed too, is that with these characters losing their powers, it makes me wonder if Brainiac is, in a way, trying to take their powers to use for himself so that he could basically become as strong as a Kryptonian. That even includes having Kryptonian abilities, to even the Kryptonian intelligence to take on Superman. I'm not too sure if anyone's brought that up or not, but I am bringing it up now. But if they have, they have. If they haven't, they haven't. So now, time to move on to World's Finest, issue 26. Oh, and for the overall story rating, I give it a 7 out of 10 for Superman issue 13. So now it's time to move into World's Finest, issue 26. And first things first, does this cover in any way, shape, or form connect to something that is happening inside of the story? In some essence, it does, to which I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the area of the internal art, as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So as the story begins, we catch up with Batman and Superman talking to those imps from the 5th dimension, to which they've learnt that one of their own imps, which is like a green mite of sorts, has been injured and harmed, and they are now seeking the help of both Batman and Superman, plus his Robin. And in the process, we do get to catch up with some of the sinister imps from the 5th dimension. And last but not least, we end up encountering Paramite. That's right, a parasite mite from the 5th dimension. So for the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into in relation to the area of the story. So first things first, do we get any comic book references? To which we do, to the Batman Superman World's Finest annual, which came out this year. Next is the area of time, to which we didn't get any indication. Next is the location, to which the locations we saw in the story were Coast City, Central City, the 5th dimension, and Metropolis, that took place in the story. Cast of characters consisting of Clark Kent Superman, Bruce Wayne Batman, Dick Grayson Robin, and of course all the 5th dimensional imps, heroes as well as villains from that 5th dimension. So for the overall story rating in this, I give a 7.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.